I just want to say, before Rashad G does his reviews, that I'm the best Superman that ever did it. Christopher Reeves, please. I'm the original son of Jor-El. Christopher Reeve is not 7'1", 300 pounds, multi-platinum rap albums, kung fu video game, dunked on Patrick Ewing, championships with Kobe and LeBron, and also has the icy hat back patch. Respect the Diesel. So I had the privilege of watching Reign of the Supermen, which is a follow-up to last year's Death of Superman, which I gave a decent review to. I thought it was decent. The Doomsday fight was the shit. The rest of the movie was a lot of fluff and a lot of pancake leading up to it. I wish they would have stuck to the source material and made it all about Doomsday versus the Justice League versus Superman. I think that would have been hot. But I gotta say, Reign of the Supermen is definitely a big improvement to the Death of Superman. Holy shit, this movie kicked ass. I loved it. I was pleasantly surprised by how good it was. I was like, look, DC animation is what kept DC afloat because I'm a big fan of the earlier animation movies, but over the years, the quality has just declined really badly, and I'm like, you know, I kind of lost faith in the DC animation movies, and some of them are okay, but this one here puts DC animation back on the map. I enjoyed every minute of this film. There was no point where I was lost. There was no point where I was like, okay, just get to the point. Stop trying to give us all this pancake and stuff. Just give us the meat and potatoes. And this whole movie was meat and potatoes. I was full when I was done with this. This film delivered. And the crazy thing about it, I mean, let me keep this non-spoiler, but the crazy thing about it is Superman, the real Superman, is really not much in the movie, but it was still really good. Like, it's a Superman film, but the real Superman is not really in it that much, but the other Supermen that are in there, it really focuses on them, and basically it's the aftermath of what happened in Death of Superman. Okay, we all know Superman died, and then now there's a void in Metropolis where, okay, who's going to take the mantle now and protect this city? So you have Lex Luthor. He creates a clone with between Superman and himself to make the ultimate being, which comes out to be Superboy. You have Cyborg Superman, who is kind of a mystery. You don't know really where he comes from or even if he's on our side or not, but he appears to be. And then you have, oh, what is his name? The one with the goggles. I cannot remember his name to save my life, but it was that Superman also. And then you had Steel, which was originally played by Shaq. So you have these four Supermen, and the whole time you're trying to figure out, okay, which one is the real deal, which one is really trying to be a protector of the city, and which one is a fraud. And I like the way they executed that. So story-wise, this movie kicked ass. I was surprised by how good the story was. And when you think of Superman stuff, you don't think of really a good story. I mean, sorry, besides the original Superman 1 and 2 with Christopher Reeve, the stories really aren't that good. I think that's why Batman eclipsed him in popularity, because Batman has the better stories and the better villains. So in the beginning, like in the late 70s to like the mid 80s, Superman was the shit. Like, I grew up in that time, so he's the one that put superhero movies on the map. You know, you have to respect the OG. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have the MCU and what we have today. It started with that one, because prior to that, superhero properties were nothing but TV shows and cartoons, and it was a joke. It wasn't taken seriously. But in 1978, you believed a man could fly. You know what I mean? So he was the OG. But because of the stories getting lame after a while, and you really don't, I mean, if you look at the movies, the only villain you ever see in the movies is Lex Luthor. Like, that's it. But Superman has a whole catalog of villains which we don't really see. Like, we've yet to see Brainiac in a feature film. It's all about Lex Luthor, and we just recently got Doomsday, the Ninja Turtle version, in Batman v Superman. So his character and his story is not as interesting as The Dark Knight, and that's why Dark Knight eclipsed him. But with this one, it goes into new territories, and you're like, you know what, watching this, when it was over with, I say, you know what, I want to see more Superman films like this. I want to see more of these kind of stories, because it was intriguing, it was interesting, and I like the direction that it took. As far as the voice actors, Jerry O'Connell, he returns as Clark Kent Superman. Rosario Dawson is the voice of Wonder Woman, which I just read about, because I was trying to look at the voice actors. The main voice actor I wanted to find out was who voiced Darkseid, because Darkseid is in this. He has a lot to do with this story. And Darkseid was voiced definitely by our brother. I'm like, okay, Darkseid, I guess he has to have a dark voice, so of course a black man has to play him. But I'm like, dude, this voice sounds very familiar, and it kind of creeped me out a little bit when I heard the voice. I'm like, damn, where do I know that voice from? And I looked it up, and it was Tony Todd. Candyman himself voiced Darkseid, and he was menacing as shit. But now when I think about it, it's kind of comical, because I'm like, wow, Darkseid is the Candyman. Ain't that some shit? This movie had everything. Has everything that you want in a DC animation film. If you're a Superman fan, you are definitely going to love this. Even if you're not really a Superman fan, I think you're still going to dig this, because you got to recognize quality when you see it, okay? Can you put it up there with Into the Spider-Verse? That's an unfair comparison, because Spider-Verse, the animation style was so revolutionary. We've never seen anything like it before. So it's kind of unfair to compare it to it. As far as on a fun scale, as far as having fun watching it, oh yeah, I put it up there with the Spider-Verse, definitely. Like, it has the fun factor of Spider-Verse, but as far as the animation quality goes, nah, not even close. Like, my only gripe with this movie is that sometimes the animation seemed a little off. It seemed like they got kind of lazy with the animation. Sometimes they added a little CG in there a little bit, combined with the 2D, which I'm not really a fan of. But that's just me nitpicking. Other than that, there's nothing negative I could say about this. Like, this was the shit. The battles, the climax, everything about it was just ill. I highly recommend watching Reign of the Supermen. It is definitely a big improvement from Death of Superman and anything that DC Animated has put out in the past few years. That's a bold statement, but well, it's not really bold, because this shit has been kind of sucking lately. But y'all, wrapping it up, I'm gonna give Reign of the Supermen an A. Love this film, man. Loved it. For animated movies goes, this movie was the shit. Sam Liu has done it again. He produced and directed this, and he did his thing on this one. He put his foot in this one. Fuck that. No, he put his ankle in it. You know what I mean? So y'all, have you seen Reign of the Supermen? What did you think? Comment below. Comment freely. Thank you for watching. As always, this is Rashad G signing out. See you in the next video.